Alright, so here I am out at the park on this foggy morning. It's finally warmed up a little bit. I've been to this park once before. It's pretty new, so I'm not anticipating any real old finds, but I did find a lot of modern coins. I searched only a small part of it, so we'll give it a try again today, see if we can't get onto something. Alright, so here's the first good signal of the day. If you can see it with the glare, but 86 on the Technetics Patriot, so just like a quarter. Alright, let's dig it up, see what we got. And there it is, about 3 inches down. Modern quarter. Yeah, quarters come up really solid on that. Oops. Okay, well, let's try to find some more. Alright, well, here's where I dug that quarter. And about 2 feet away. 33, I don't know if you can read that. There we go. Really typical nickel sound, so see if it really is a nickel. That's exactly what it was, just a modern nickel. Always good to dig those signals though, you never know when it might be gold. Okay, let's see what else we can find. Alright, so I took a few more steps and got kind of an iffy signal, but it was in the mid 70s, upper 60s, and just a modern penny. It's copper. Got my hopes up a little bit, maybe a wheat penny, but nope. You can see it through all the mud, but there's a Lincoln Memorial right there, so. Okay, well, at least we're finding coins, even though they're modern. That's great. See what else we can do. So I had to show you this just because it's kind of interesting. See if you can hear this. So I think I have a bunch of coins here. At least that's what I hope. It's hard to even get a consistent number. 65, that's not great. Maybe some zincs mixed in. Or maybe it's a whole bunch of trash, I don't know. Well, definitely not as good as I'd hoped. One zinc penny. And part of a phone, I guess. That's what was sounding off in the detector so weird. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Alright, see what else we can find. Well, I'm getting my hopes up a little bit on this one. High 80s. So now down to the mid 80s. There it is, all the way up to 90. So, I don't know, it seems a little too high for a quarter, but I'm excited to find out what it is. Not exactly the giant silver ring I was hoping for. This is a fishing lure. Apparently made out of copper, because it rang up really, really high. Well, still an interesting find. Well, I'm really excited about this. I think we have ourselves a silver dime right there. Just dug it out of the hole. I don't want to rub it and risk scratching it, but there it is. I really can't make out anything on the back, so I'm going to put it in my case and we'll clean it off later when I get to some water and make sure we don't damage it, but that's really exciting and pretty unexpected. I'm still here in this corner of the park. Still pretty darn foggy. But yeah, this is great. Down there, maybe 5 inches. Alright, well, I'm really excited to clean that up later, see what it is. Okay, just packed up my dime in the case. I like to carry this in case I find something that might be a little bit fragile. Here's an interesting one. We consistently right at 90, occasionally 91. There's an 88. Just seems a little too high to be a quarter. Maybe it's a giant silver ring. Or another fishing lure. Well, I guess not. Looks like part of a remote control car maybe, or something like that. Got a little heat sink on it. Well, okay. Throw it in the pouch and keep going. Okay, I'm back in from the hunt. Here's just a real quick wrap-up video. First things first, this dime is not silver. And actually it's a little more obvious now. You can tell the color's just not quite right for being pure silver. It's apparently pure nickel. It turns out it's a Canadian dime. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's a Canadian dime from 1973. And I looked it up. I guess they're made of pure nickel, so I'm not quite sure why it rang up so high. But that would explain that color and why it came out of the ground looking the way it did. So that's a bummer. It's not silver, but still kind of cool. Find a foreign coin. Otherwise, for American coins, like a $1.76, and the usual kind of things, other than what I would call an inordinate amount of nickels. I guess the Patriot today was just locking onto these nickels, so usually I don't find that many nickels, but quarters, dimes, and then copper pennies, zinc pennies over here. And yeah, some days I don't even bother digging the zinc pennies, but a lot of these were essentially right on the surface, and so it's just using the pinpointer to pick them up. I kind of go back and forth on whether or not I bother with zinc pennies, but whatever. Also found this little key, and then here's that fishing lure. There was no hook on it, and either it rusted away or more likely there just wasn't one there and somebody maybe was just in the park practicing their casting or something, I don't know. So anyway, not bad. I was only out for a couple hours. It was a fun day. No real exciting finds, but that's, you know, not surprising, I guess, considering I was at a newer park. I go back and forth. Some days I really get a lot of ambition and I'll go knock on doors and try to do people's yards with older houses, you know, if I can get some permissions, and then you have a chance of finding, you know, some silver coins, wheat pennies, that kind of thing. But today I wasn't really in the mood to do that. I didn't have a lot of time either, so I thought I'd just head to that park. And good news was I don't think it's been detected, or at least not recently, because I was finding all these coins. But, you know, the flip side of that is that it's just not a very old park, so even though I got my hopes up for a little while, no silver, no wheat pennies. These are all just Lincoln cents, or, you know, memorial cents. So, but like I said, still a fun day. I'm glad you could check this out. I'll see you next time.